We're live, Pat.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for not dropping any keywords right in the beginning when it opens. Welcome to the Paving the Way podcast. I am JB.
And I'm Patrick.
And we are here to tell you how to be amazing, I guess, right? That's what we're talking about?
Yeah, just not to destroy yourself.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about self-destructive habits to stop. I
think everyone has a lot of these habits. They're hard to see that you even do until someone calls you out on it. And then a lot of the time, it's not a great conversation.
You meant everyone but you.
Yeah.
Obviously,
yeah.
I was going to say.
If you can take these to heart and think about them in your own life, it can be a big help.
Yeah, I'm excited to actually get into this. I think it's a little bit different from what we've been talking about, which is just straight construction. But I feel like Patrick and I have some good knowledge. We've been doing this for a long time, and let's see if we can challenge ourselves here to put something out there and maybe put what we do into practice. I'm going to reach over and click on, I don't know how to do this.
In my zone.
Yeah, this is crazy. We're doing this crazy. We actually have sheets that come up. All right. Self-destructive habits to stop. Just looking at this picture, I think it's saying don't scream and possibly hit women in the workplace. Is that what that picture is saying?
Yeah,
because I agree with that.
Might mean at home too. I don't know.
Okay, so I think let's go with
your values.
Not hitting and yelling at women in general.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that. I like that slide though. It's good. The steam coming off the head. So that means he's moving really fast or angry. Complaining all the time. So I would say complaining.
Sorry,
yeah. No, I was gonna say complaining all the time is something I think that it's kind of built into us as a culture, right? I think we all complain about everything, about traffic and what we're doing. And this is definitely one that's been hard for me. It's definitely something I try to focus on. I think you and I have had a lot of conversations about this.
Definitely. I try to tell people when I hear them complaining that I just say the words first world problem. And a lot of people think about that and then go, oh, yeah, okay, you're right. First world problem.
Yeah. I think for me, I try to look at things differently than a lot of other people. I think complaining and how to improve it, right? I mean, we're complaining usually because something's going wrong or not going the way we want it, or just we're not happy about the situation, I guess. I think if you can change your perspective, I think I'm big on perspective. Not I think, but I'm big on perspective.
For sure.
Especially lately, I'm trying to push this more. But if you change your perspective, I mean, in order to become successful at something, David Clark, runs our mechanical sides, brought this up a lot also. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. I mean, if you're making mistakes and you're not doing anything about it, so you can just repeat those mistakes over and over again, then that's certainly something that you can complain about. But when you're finding problems and you find that this is a problem and you go and fix it, you're actually building for the future. You're trying to do something better to better yourself or your company or your relationship or really whatever you have going on.
I think that might be one of the reasons that we work so well together is I do have a tendency to look at the bad side of things a lot. You know, it just happens. I don't know why, I don't know how, but you know, I see the bad things sometimes and then he will take the initiative and just fix it, figure out how to fix it.
I think you like to find, it's like, so this is about complaining, right? I think you like to find problems, not that you like, but you're very, very skilled at finding problems or things that are going wrong or should be going better. I think the complaining comes in where you don't do something about it, right? So if you find yourself complaining, how about we do something about it, right? You change the perspective. Like, oh, we're spending so much money on this. Cool, then let's change that. Like, let's go fix that.
Yeah.
And I think for you, and this is, I mean, because we've known each other a long time, I think that when you get in complaining mode, it's because you don't know how to fix it. You're like, man, we keep spending money on this and this is really a problem and it just keeps happening and it's not getting fixed.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of the complaining kind of comes in. So I think take action, make steps to fix the problem that you're talking about.
And try to focus on what you can be grateful for rather than just complaining.
And try not to stress over things that are out of your control. Yeah. Like, I mean, man, complaining about like traffic or things you can't control it. Like, that's just the way it is and you got to let that go.
Definitely.
Wow. We're killing it.
On to the next self-destructive habit of mine.
Stealing
Holding
money.
On to resentment.
Oh, no, I like these graphics. Like, these graphics are killing it for me. I think they're great. Holding on to resentment. That's a good one. I think, what do you think you do? I think I have a good one, but what do you think?
I don't know.
A good way to not hold on to resentment.
It's kind of a tough one. You know, there's been people throughout everyone's life that have done people wrong. And it's one of the things, I mean, that's the first habit that I see is just, or not habit, but that's the first idea that I think of when it comes to holding on to resentment is resenting people for things they've done to you in the past. And I don't know that I hold on to resentment a lot. I feel like I let it go. I let a lot of things go and move on. And that's not easy for everybody. I know it wasn't easy for me in the beginning. And you just have to commit to it and, let things go.
Oh my goodness, we're filming a podcast. Actually, I think that's something you're very good at, is not holding on to resentment. Now that you kind of bring that up, I think the key to that is getting out. I think I've big for you and I over the years, right? Like, we work together. I always say we've had 2 fights in 17 years of business together, and probably 18, 19 years of being friends. Literally 2, anything that I would even call close to a fight. Not fist fights, obviously. I would not fist fight. But and I think for me, it's all about communication, right? When something bothers you, or if you feel resentment over something, you should you should tell that person. If you're holding on to resentment, it's because you're not voicing your opinions.
Definitely.
I was speaking to someone yesterday and telling them, if you have something that's bothering and you have these feelings, one, you should be analyzing your feelings and thinking, why am I feeling this way? Like, what's bothering me about this?
It's analyze.
Sorry. Yes, that's definitely off-screen high five. I think it was on both screens. That did not work well. I think you think about your feelings inside. Why am I feeling this way? How is it making me feel this way? And then you should bring that to the other person. Like, if I don't like the way someone treated me, or if, like, Pat, I don't like the way you handle that situation, and you say, all right, too bad for you, fuck off, then at least I put it out there. Like, if you're going to be a jerk about it, I don't mean you specifically. That's not what I mean.
No, I mean, you're much better at that than I am. I more or less hold on to things and then forget about them, and that's how my resentment goes away.
Yeah.
Where you talk about them more.
And I think if you get it out there, no matter how the other person reacts, it's off your chest. It's not on my plate anymore. I don't need to be resentful about it, because I told you, like, hey, I didn't like your behavior when we did that, or hey, we had this project out there and I really didn't like the way that you dealt with this. And they're like, oh, hey, I learned from that and I can move on. Then you feel like a victory over it, right? Or if they're like, I don't care what you think, this is the way I operate, at least I know, well, I've done everything I can do and I don't care beyond that point.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Cool.
All right. Next slide.
Waiting for other people to make you happy. Dang. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I have not waited for other people to make me happy. It's been like a day.
I kind of see this 2 ways. You can wait for something to make you happy, or you can wait for people to make you happy. So I kind of see this one as being twofold.
I like that, actually.
You have to choose to be happy now with what you have, and it's not always easy.
I think you can, and I think there's a big differential here, right? You can always want more, right? Like, I mean, we have huge goals of where we want this company to go and what we're expecting out of the future of here. But we're also, I mean, I think Pat and I, we've both sat back with Austin also and said, man, like 10 years ago, look at where we were compared to we are now.
Definitely.
And then when you look back at 10 years, you're like, even 7 years before that, when we were starting, look at the big step we took from this 0 year to the 7th year and then to the 17th year. You really got to just enjoy where you are.
Yeah.
I think if you're always waiting for something, or for something to happen to make you happy, you're just never going to be happy.
Number 2 on the screen. Stop comparing yourself to others. That's huge in keeping yourself happy. If you're always comparing yourself to other people, and instead of being happy with what you have and trying to focus on what's good, you're constantly going to be beating yourself up about what you have, what you're not doing, what you can't do. And, that's just not a great way to go about life and keep yourself happy.
It's funny because I actually did a video, which I'm not sure if it's been posted or anything. I did a video probably 2 weeks ago about somebody said, what motivates you? And I said that seeing people who were younger than me being more successful than me, like, is a huge driver for me. It's kind of mean in this, but I'm not happy. I try to be happy where I am. I'm not waiting for other people's happiness, but I'm certainly comparing myself to other people. And for me, it drives me. Like, obviously some of these 22-year-olds are making $1 billion and are kicking our butts no matter what. But for me, it's like, well, if a 22-year-old can do that in the amount of time, then what can we do in the next 3 years? Or I kind of use that as motivation.
Yeah.
But certainly not comparing. I think for me, social media is a huge one. Although we're probably all watching this on social media, Social media is like, for me, it's the biggest one. It's where everyone's comparing themselves. They see a snapshot of someone's life and you're like, oh, their life is so much better than mine. And it's like, man,
they're not showing you all the good, the bad, and the ugly.
For sure. And really and if there's something that you're not happy with, then make those changes, make them now. Because you got it. Life is short.
Yeah.
I saw a Gary Vee thing actually we were talking about. Said, think about all the time that existed before you were born. Like that's thousands of years. And then after you die, think about all the years that'll happen after you die. And that literally your little tiny window of life is nothing in the scheme of this world. So if you're not making the most out of every second of it, you're literally just wasting time. So I think that's I hope I'm allowed to say that about Gary Vee. I don't know.
It's a Gary Vee plug.
Hopefully our 19 watchers don't I'm just kidding.
Oh god.
One of them's not Gary Vee, so we're probably good.
That's funny.
Do you know what you're doing over there?
I was gonna click to the next.
I know,
one.
but why have you not clicked?
Oh, I don't know. I was waiting for you to finish.
Oh, being your own worst critic. Well, I don't have to worry about that because I have Pat. And Pat doesn't have to worry about that because he has me. So, yeah, be your own worst critic. I think it's definitely a self-destructive habit, but
nobody's perfect.
No.
Don't shoot to be perfect. If you shoot to be perfect, you're going to be waiting your entire life to do anything.
I kind of like being my own worst critic. I mean, well, I guess how you look at it, right? You should be first off, let's replace this. You should be your only critic. I don't care what anybody thinks about what I'm doing or where I am in my life or anything about it. I mean, I care what my family thinks, like my wife and my mom and my brother-in-law is my partner here. I care what they think and I want to be a hard worker, but at the same time, I don't care. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about me. I'm going to be me and become the person that I want to be, and nobody else's opinion matters to me, as I think everyone should be. I tried to push this with my kids too. It doesn't matter. Like if you go to school and kids are teasing you or something, who cares?
Yeah.
Like if you're happy with your decisions and your actions, then who cares what anybody else thinks? Yeah. So you should be your only critic, I think.
I agree.
I also think you should be
not that easy when you're a kid to be in school and think like that.
But how many of our parents actually taught us that from a young age? Like no one really ever taught me that. I feel like I stopped caring what people think like 4 years ago. If that, like I always care. Like I would be like, oh, I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that because what are people going to think? And then I would say for years, I'd say, I don't care what anybody thinks. And my wife would get super irritated with me for saying it. But I don't think I really believed it until 4 years ago. Yeah. I think it's something we should be teaching our kids from a young age. And I mean, I got 4 kids. Some of them are very strong-willed and they really do not care what anybody thinks. I've even told them, you shouldn't care what I think. Like you should become the person you want to be. I don't want my kids becoming someone that I want them to be. Yeah. I want them becoming who they want to be. Yeah. So I think you should be your own worst critic, but you should also be very gentle with yourself. If you can't handle criticism, don't be so critical of yourself.
Try to focus on your strengths, like number 2 says, not your weaknesses. You know, focus on what you're good on.
100%. I mean, and I think everybody has strengths, right? I mean, we can't argue that point. Like if you're saying, oh, I don't have strengths, it's because you're not looking hard enough. Yeah. Everybody's good at something. Like go out and explore the world.
Definitely.
I mean, if your strength is sitting at home looking at social media, then yeah, you're probably going to feel.
Should probably turn that off for a little while.
Yeah.
Forever.
Is that our last slide?
It is.
That was super quick.
Yeah, that's all right. People don't need to see.
What is this? Much. What is that guy doing if I didn't see? Let's do great things together. Really, I mean, I'm always open about talking about these things. I mean, we're construction, so we're construction 90% of our time here, except if we're playing some indoor mini golf, maybe.
Do you guys have any comments about anything we've said or the slides or, you know, things that you think you could add to what we've said? Feel free to drop it in the comments or, you know, visit us on LinkedIn, Facebook. And all the socials.
These are just our opinions, which opinions really mean nothing, as we've just talked about, right? I mean, our opinions mean nothing. So if you get something from it, use it and take it and make your life better. If you think we're idiots and stupid.
Do you know what opinions are like?
Cool. Onions?
You should. They're like assholes. Everybody has one. They all stink.
That is one of my favorite quotes. Just, maybe not in that venue, but hey, it's out there now, so I love it. Cool. So yeah, reach out to us on any social medias. We're always here. We're looking to
see what we
help
can do
the world
for you and what you can do for us.
Yeah, help the world be better in any way that we can, right? Especially if it's paving and concrete.
Yep.
We definitely want to help you in that way. But if we can help you in any other ways or share some of the experiences or knowledge that we've had, we're always here for that. So we'd love to do that more. See if you guys like this. Let us know in the comments. And
Thanks for joining.
I need to stop saying also. I hate that. My mom's gonna say something about it.